Hello, everyone. Welcome to Camppatton Family Compound. We welcome you to the Friday night on the Homestead live stream. Woo-hoo. And tonight's topic is planning your garden canning. Does that sound a little confusing? Well, it might be a little confusing, but I think we're going to work it all out here. But first, let's go over and see who all is here in the side chat. Ooh, I see a bunch of green. Okay, so first one in was CB at Hugo Homestead, followed up by Alicia, and then Patriot Prepper. And they're talking back and forth, and Walt jumped in. Oh, Walt's referring to the poll up above. So yeah, he's planning on filling some of his jars with beef. All right. Who else is in here? Soldier's Girl Prepper. How you doing? Mary Beth Smith is here. Woohoo! Where to begin Homestead? Hey, Janice. And let's see, everyone's talking again. Kaylin's Strain is here. And let's see here. Suburban Hillbillies in the house. I'm trying to keep up, but everybody's talking, which is good. Shawnee is here. Hey, how's it going? All right. And Homestead Aquarius is here. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So, I'm going to put somebody on the spot right now. Homestead Aquarius, when do you think you're going to be putting out the first informational stuff about Shed Wars? That way I want to be able to pump it up out here. And let's see here. All Things Acres is here. And I froze. And thank you, Barry. Barry was watching the ads. All righty. Here's to you, Barry. Drink a toast to you. Shawnee can only grow enough for fresh eating. Well, you do what you can do. Especially since you can't even do the barbecue outside because there's too much snow out there right now. Well, I know that feeling. All righty. So, what am I talking about here for tonight? Well, before I jump into that, one other thing I want to say. Right now we have 7 people that have, 7 people? Yeah, I think it's 7 people that have signed up for the weight loss challenge. Need to get at least 10 people signed up, and then we'll have 2 teams. And if we can get 15 people signed up, we'll have 3 teams. That way it's not just 2 battling against each other. Someone can sneak from behind and win. Hey, Farmer John Bacon, how's it going? And so the weight loss challenge video, I've been putting it out there. Whoa! Woo. All Thing Acres. Thank you. Thank you very much. Shawnee, your scale comes in the mail. All right. This weekend. So, yeah, because, this is a way where you're not just trying to lose weight on your own. You got teammates who are supporting you, and you have a little bit of competition with some other friends, to see who can do the most. And so that's what we're, trying to do, is get everybody to support each other, have some fun at it, and we can all lose weight together. Now, here's the bonus. Somebody who I'm not going to name right now has offered to do gifts for all the participants. At least it sounded like she meant all the participants. So at least the winning team is going to get gifts, maybe everybody. Okay? So if you want one of those, she's still thinking about what sort of gifts she's going to get, but there are gifts for the participants for the weight loss challenge. Alrighty. And actually, I had to put the link to that video in the description of all my videos for a while. Alrighty. So, okay, I froze big time there. So I see a lot of the emblems for members and stuff. So I forgot to say, announce who my members are. So here we go.
This ain't Camp Crystal Lake. We have fun here.
Alrighty. And thank you, Alicia. So Alicia gave me a super sticker there for Canadian $1.49. Cool. Thank you very much. Suburban Hillbilly. Oh, yeah. Now, having not enough space, that is tough. So, yeah, hopefully you can share with your aunt. All righty. So, snack for me. All righty. So, let's hop into this now. Let me switch over here. Freeze. Let me switch over here and bring this up and kind of figure out what I'm talking about. Well, one of the things, we talked about already. Last week we were talking about planning out your garden and getting everything getting it all lined out and all that other fun stuff. And, so you know what you're planting. However, when you were doing that, were you thinking about canning everything or trying to can the majority of it? Eat a bunch, can a bunch, have enough can to go take you through to the next season's harvest starts coming in? Well, there's a lot of fun stuff you can. Water bath canning. Most of the world water baths. Only a portion of a small portion of the United States pressure cans. In fact, even in the United States here, the Amish and Mennonites water bath everything. And I finally figured out why the USDA pushes pressure canning instead of water bath canning. Because somebody back in the time got a big charitable donation to their wallet from the canned food industry to get people, to get it out in the town that, hey, no, you got to buy a big pressure canner. You can't water bath anymore. You got to buy a canner and do it. Yeah. All political maneuvering by profits by the industrial complex. Hey, Steph, how's it going? All right, so, water bath canning is easy. There's 3 parts to it: lid, pot, rack. And, of course, there is pressure canning if you want to try to do things a little bit quicker. Hey, Wayne, the ungrateful peasant, how you doing? Hey, I got to your live, I came back in here, saw you were live, got in there just as you said, bye. But some people have pointed out by the time you wait for the pressure canner to heat up, and then it does its hour thing, or hour and 15 or whatever, 45, whatever the time frame is for the pressure canner. And then the time for it to cool down, you're almost there for water bathing. And a water bath setup is so much cheaper than a pressure canner. Yes, the All-American is a great one, and I would love to have one. But do you have all the canning supplies to can everything you grow? Yeah. Do you have all the different type jars you're going to need? You know, wide mouth quart, regular mouth quart, wide mouth pint, regular mouth pint, pint, pint and a half, half pint, 8 ounce, 4 ounce. There's a lot of different size jars for a lot of different size things to be canning. Hey, Brenda, how's it going? Got Duncan 1900 in here now. Okay, and yeah, especially since my last time I checked on Amazon, they don't have the one pressure canner I want, because I have a 21 quart pressure canner, but the 41 quart is no longer available, and the don't be mistaken by the All-American sanitizer, which is 41 quarts, because you can't can in it. It's unsafe to can in it. Which was always cheaper than the pressure canner / cooker. The sanitizer is $900 and something now. So the 41 quart is probably over $1,000. Okay. Hey, Kathy D, how's it going? Just make sure I catch everybody up in a side chat. All right, let's continue on here. Jars, jars, and jars. We had some friends give us. Let me count this up. I'm not frozen. I'm thinking. If only I had a brain. They gave us something like 8 cases of pints and 20 cases of quarts, assorted wide mouth, regular amongst that. Plus all the ones we got from my mom, which was, a bunch. Hey, our treasured homestead, how's it going? So, yeah, you need to have jars, but with jars, you need lids. And I was hoping that Tammy, the Rebel Canner, would make it in here, but she's probably gone to bed. Yeah. And make sure that, the lids you get are name brand and look right. Because there is somebody selling another brand on Amazon that's made in China. They've made up fake boxes that match this other company's name, and they have a high failure rate. Yep. Fortunately, I got space. And my wife has been, the one pressure cooker I got from my mom was a 21 quart Presto. And so let's see what we got. Next slide here is, just look at all that beautiful stuff there. It's colorful. It's lovely. So going back now, have you planted enough to fill all your jars? Yeah. So going back to planning out your garden stuff, make sure you've planned it out so you can fill all your jars. And if need be, do you have enough garden space to fill all your jars? Do you really need to go whole hog wild? Actually, we all do, if we can. But some of us live in apartments, of us live in small city lots, and sometimes we just can't do as much as we want to do just because of the way things are. Hang on here. Where did it jumped on me? Cool. Okay, Steph has more jars than garden space. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Going back to what Walt said in the beginning. I know he's out there lurking, and maybe he'll pop in again. He's saying he's planning on filling a lot of his jars with beef. So, or like if Janice, is going whole hog, she might be able to fill some of her jars with pig. But yeah, there is a lot of things you can do. Put a lot of stuff into the jars besides what you're pulling out of your garden, and that's why I wish Tammy was in here. She's done some great videos on canning other things besides what comes out of the garden. She's canned milk, she's canned cheese, made soups, all sorts of stuff. She's got canned meatloaf in her jars and stuff. So there's a lot of things you can can in your jars to supplement what you're canning from the garden. Yeah, right now, since most people's garden is non-producing right now, yeah, meat's a good way to go. And if you're lucky, you can catch some meats on sale, and especially if you hit certain places in early. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, man. You guys are just going for it. Yeah. Like I can hit Sam's Club here in Idaho Falls. If I hit it by 8, they open at 8. If I get in there before 8:30, excuse me. If I get in there before 8:30, there's a lot of meat that's 25% off because it's getting close to the best use by date. Sometimes it's 34 days away, but they start slapping it down 25% off. That's when I stocked up a lot in my chest freezers. Everybody hydrate. I don't care if it's winter. You need to keep your water up. Ah, cool. Chicken. Yeah, that's the thing. Chickens. Right now, and that might not be advisable to harvest your own chickens, especially if they're still laying eggs. You can sell those eggs for a lot right now. Oh, 17 degrees there. Okay, let me check something here. I can drop that down. Let me see what my temperature is here. As I know we're getting cold here. Let me refresh it here. 22 degrees here and dropping. The low tonight is supposed to be 11 degrees. Saturday night it's supposed to go down to 3. Yeah, use jars from pickles and other store-bought things. Never use any of my can. Okay. All right. I want to say something about this here really quick, folks. I got to find it again. I thought I saved the link to it on one of my computers. There is a company out there that sells those the lug type, or bayonet. What do you call them? Bayonet lug type lids, like on Relish, certain like. Smucker's jelly jars and stuff like that, like the quarter term ones, that sells brand new ones for canning. But then they've been made to put a disclaimer on it, not for home canning. But it's perfectly good for industrial canning. Anyways, yeah, and so if you want to do jams and jellies, those are great to use for that. Because hey, my grandmother remembers doing jams and jellies, getting in the jar, getting it all done, and just pouring wax on top. So if you can get a jar that'll lock and seal, boom. All things acres, our cabin in the woods. I'm just making sure I said hi to everybody here. I know I put Q's thing up there, but I don't know if I said hi, Q. All right. So there's when you're planning out your garden, keep in mind how much you expect to get from it or hope to get from it, and how much stuff you can. And if you have a lot more canning jars, like some people in here do, than they can get from their garden, what else can you put in there? One-time use jars? Really? Did that anywhere indicate that they were made overseas? Because that sounds like something used over. I mean, shoot. You look at most canning jars nowadays, and you compare them to the old glass Best Foods mayonnaise jars. Those jars are fairly thin, but we use those for canning blackberry jam. I mean, by the dozens, and we never had one break unless we bumped it while it was still hot or something. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember digging it out too. I also remember her using the lids that hinged. The glass lid has the red rubber gasket on there and then locks down. Using those for jams and jellies. And yeah. The one-piece lids and jars you get from the Amish are for factory canning. I have a short. Okay, cool. Now, one of the things too on those the bayonet or lug type lids, when they're canning those, they have this. The food stuff going in there is all hot and everything. Jars are hot, and it goes through a steamer. So the air around it, any air, they steam the jar. The lid goes on, so the air any air trapped in top is expanded from steam, and it twists on, and then it goes, and as the air cools to room temperature. Yeah, my wife takes a lot of the those the Smucker jars and stuff like that, and puts rice in it. She gets a bunch of the hamburger helper with the rice and stuff in it, a cheesy enchilada, and some of the other ones, well, they have the rice in it. Well, usually what happens when catching the boys at the same time, everybody for dinner, is short time frame. So rather than cooking it for 20-25 minutes to cook the rice, she uses minute rice. She takes the rice from the package and puts it in the jars and fills the jars up and seals them till she has a time frame where she can cook a long meal or to do some taco soup of rice in it or whatever in the slow cooker, and she uses that rice then. The channel, Marissa Marr cans whole chickens, veggies in jars. They last up to a year. She boils them and water baths them. Never use a pressure cooker. Exactly. That's the way my grandmother did it. That's the way my great-grandmother did it. No one in my family has ever gotten sick from eating water bath food when it was done for the proper length of time. And I think they were all smart enough not to take the shortcut on it. Hey, let me adjust this just a little bit because I'm sitting rather low. There we go. Glass jars that other food in them are not for canning, get used for water storage. That's something else you can do. And if you have an Instapot or some other or a pressure canner, or even a water bath canner, you can put water in there and can the water so you have sanitized water, because you don't have to worry about food breaking down. If the water's boiling and everything in there, it's sterilized. Now, Tammy at Rebel Canners gave me a recipe a while back. I got that video saved in one of my playlists on how to make a saline solution for emergency medical purposes. Yeah, that's what my daughter's having to do across the street. We've tried every way we could think of to seal it up, the house up, so the mice can't get in. Unfortunately, there are 4 boys over there, and 3 of them know how to open the back door. And I've gone over and that back door is open that much, and it's like, okay, now I know how the mice are getting in. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop it out here. And then I'm going, has everybody had a chance to answer the, where is it here? That side? Above the chat, answer the poll up there. Yeah. So, homemade trellises jars. It would be dry candy, but you can pick your own green carefully. Yeah. And especially if you toss in an oxygen absorber and a moisture absorber in there. Yeah. So Q wants some jars pre-filled with canned money. Yeah. She's done it reluctantly. I told you, don't have to worry about it poisoning the cats. The cats fart. And cats burp too. If you ever had a cat burp in your face, you'll know cats burp. So they can eat up the mice and that. And woohoo! All right. All right. We have a new member here. Everybody give them an emoji salute. All righty. Dang, I got a lot of emojis up there. All righty. So I put the link there. Now I got where did it go? Got to catch the link again. It flew by so fast. So has everybody voted? Let me get the thing. I want to see what the poll looks like. We got 40% yes to the first, second to no. Yes, they have enough jars and lids, but no, they're not. Froze. No, they're not planning to fill all the jars. 40% said that. No to they don't have enough jars, but they are planting plant enough to fill the jars they have. 8% said that. No to both. 24% that. Yes to both. 28% said that. All right. So if anybody hasn't voted, hurry up and vote so I can end that. All righty. Okay, let's give it a second. I'll give it about another 30 seconds. I'm going to end the poll. All right. Yeah. So right now, this year I was things changed. I understand that for everybody out there. Things changed for me. The last time my wife came up was like, I want you to come this summer and haul a bunch more stuff back up here in Idaho. So I got an order from the staff sergeant to make trips to California to load up and haul stuff back here. So I'm not going to be planting all the tomatoes I was wanting to plant. So I've gone back to just doing, hey, Tibor, I've gone back just to doing stuff in the indoor garden, which I wasn't going to do. But I'm doing that a little bit differently. If you haven't seen the video on it, I had a premiere this morning on it. And the one for over on, let's see here. Hang on, let me see. Did that go live yet? I have to add this. I posted the same video over on. No, so it goes to, at midnight tonight. It goes live on Gray Man Prepping. Hey, Swafford Homestead, how's it going? Okay, what's this here? You go. Yeah, the thing is, the mice don't stay right next to the soda. They start wandering off. And hey, it's fine. The cats eat the mice, and since all it is soda in there, almost hit the wrong button. Ooh, I almost hit the end button. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so that'll be fine on that. All right, I'm going to end the poll here. Last chance for anybody to get the poll. You got about 10 seconds here. So yeah, we're going to. She's just going to, I told her, just go ahead and mix it up, put it down there. But it'll smell. I said the cats will eat it. So, all righty. So we're okay. It's changed. We now got 38 for the first one, 8 to the second, 23. Okay, poll is ending in 3, 2, 1. Boom. End poll. There we go. All right. And then post that there. And I'm going to pin that up there. All right. So, so there's your, you had 26, we had 26 votes, 26 votes. So, woohoo. All righty. Allergic to cats, but that'd be a good solution too. Well, the first dog my daughter had here, she got rid of it, was an Australian Shepherd, because they didn't take care of it and give it all the love it needed, and it wandered around town. The replacement dog they got is worse because they take even less care of it. But the first one would actually go hunt the mice and the voles as well as the cats, and would compete with the cats to see who could eat the most mice. So, all right. So, yeah, there's a lot of things to consider for your food storage and your gardening as well. Now, we're going to go take the jars a little bit of a twist here now. The ones the leftover jars from the store, from the relish, the mayonnaise. Well, mayonnaise is in plastic jars now, but your relish, your pickles, your anything that has a little bit of bayonet twist, things on it. And I just forgot what I was going to say to put in there. Other things you can put in jars that we haven't discussed so far. Yeah, Tibor, it means we had somebody vote, and either they're just lurking and they're not making comments, which after a while it stops counting the number in here. They drop off because they haven't made comments, or they came, showed a little love, and left. But there are a lot of other things you can put in the jars. All right. The baby food jars. My dad used to take those, and he'd get them from everybody else. And people that had babies, he'd collect all the baby food jars, get them all rinsed out. He had some boards on the shop wall. Would put a nail through the middle of the lid, and would turn the board so it's at like a 45-degree angle, and he'd just screw on the jar on there. Well, he put little nuts, bolts, little nails, finishing nails, brads, and stuff in those. So that's some of the stuff you can store in the jars besides food stuff to eat. But you can also put in those things in a jar. Band-aids and stuff like that, because Band-aids have a tendency to dry out. So you get a bunch. If you wind up shopping at Costco or Sam's Club, you get the monster pack of Band-aids. Well, you stick some in some of the jars and you seal them up so they don't dry out. Hey, Canadian, how's it going? No, you need to have 365. That'll give you a full year of one jar of tomato sauce a night. And seriously, my wife and I were talking about it when she gets up and we start canning. She's still buying, keeping an eye on the price of the canning jars down there and buying them. I told her to steer away from a certain brand that follow the bouncing ball, because some of their lids are failing because the material for the lids is being produced overseas now. And so DuPont is selling them foreign-made rubber to put in the lids. But she's buying more so that we figure we want to have at least 365 quart jars, at least 730 pint jars, and then a whole bunch of half pints. And she's also been buying half-gallon jars as well. And we want to have at least that many when we start canning, because we're probably going to need twice that many. Because we'll do stuff like meatloaf in a jar. And so like get the tapered pint jars, perfect for meatloaf. You pack it, you get it all cooked and stuff, and when you're done, you go to open it up, turn it upside down, and hopefully it just pops right out. Of course, you can also take a little knife around it, down around the edge, and loosen it up so it pops out. Yeah. But I've also heard a lot of people complaining about their ball lids, like 1 out of 10 failing. So, and there was, I forget who it was. They were over on Rebels Canner's Facebook page about a year ago, and she laid out a whole thing of what happened. She had a bunch of them failed. She took pictures and stuff, called Ball, got hold of the customer service, told them what was going on. Asked for an email to forward the pictures of the lids and stuff to them. And after talking to several people back and forth, she got hold of this one person who said, well, we know that there's a problem because we had been getting all of our rubber for the seals from DuPont. And then also we started having problems because DuPont was buying the rubber from overseas. They weren't producing the good stuff here in America anymore and sending it to Ball. Anyways. Okay, Q says she only used the brand 4 jars, which has a lot of good results on it. Tammy's been using a lot of the Suburb ones here now because they are definitely all parts made in America. And Swaffer says Golden Harvest lids. Haven't heard of Golden. I don't think I've heard of Golden Harvest. Wait, is that also the reusable ones that are knockoffs of Tattlers? It's the plastic, heavy plastic with a big, thick gasket lid on it. Q recently won 200 lids from 4 jars. Haven't used it. Look back. Yeah. Yeah. There's another one. The Tattlers are expensive, but you can use them multiple times. Now there's another one here. Okay, so one of the ones they sold at Dollar General. Okay, there's another one here. Hang on, let me see if I can bring it up here. I hope I put that in my in my wish list on Amazon because it's another American-made company. They're not that old, but they are, they've been around for a few years, and they've been producing as much as they can. That's not them. There it is. Okay, so, all right, so this is the one, you got to share it first. Boom. All right, so these are 4 jars. And right now, this is a 50 pack for $19.40, 50 bucks. So $1 a lid. However, if you get to the 100 pack, it's cheaper. So yeah, it's cheaper to buy and hire. Now, the other company I was talking about was Denali. Okay, and so yeah, and their lids say Denali Canyon on it. So, and there's our from what I've heard from other people's reviews on it, the metal is thick like ball used to be. Yeah, Bernardin, I've seen things on those, but I've also seen lately that theirs are saying on the boxes good for 18 months only. Now, let me check one other thing here real quick here. See if I can find it here. See if they even have it here on Amazon. Yep, they do. Kerr is one we've always used. My mom and grandmother never did like ball. They've always used Kerr. I did a video 2 years ago now, or just about 2 years ago. My mom had a case, a gross of Kerr lids, regular mouth lids. So 144 boxes of 12 lids per box in the case. And I think there was like 130 some odd boxes still in there unopened that my mom had left me, and I compared them to the new ones. They're like, to me, all right, this could be an exaggeration, but to me it seemed like these old ones were like 3 times as sturdy as the current balls and about twice as sturdy as the current Kerr lids. So, yeah, I'm partial for what my experience. All right. Still using glass jars. Cool. That's what 6.5 years old. My mom, using the Kerr lids and the wide mouth half-gallon jars, water bath canned a lot of pears. I would say there was, I think she had like 3 dozen, 36 jars of pears. And she canned those back in 72. And we were still eating those up into the 90s because she'd stored them, put them away. She canned them down when we lived down in Sun Valley, California, down by Burbank. We moved to Arizona for 2 years. They were packed away, never got out for the 2 years we were in Arizona. Moved back to California, Northern California, to the original homestead up there where my grandmother was at. And they were packed for another 2 years there before we got stuff out after we got their new home built there. And even then, a lot of it was still packed away in the back room. And then finally getting stuff out, it's like, oh, we got jars of pears. And so we'd bring them out and put them in the cupboard, and they got shoved to the back of the deep cupboard next to the refrigerator. And other stuff got put in front of them. Everything. Oh, we got a jar back here. Pull it out, and it was into the 90s. We were still cracking those things open. They looked absolutely perfect. She did everything just right, to keep them from browning and changing color. Hey, Cindy, how's it going? And so, yeah, unfortunately, I think my sister, my mom left all the canning stuff to me and my wife. I think my sister absconded with several of the cases of the empty jars because we were looking for them, and all we could find were 4 of the half-gallon jars. And I know that the cases she had back then were big cases, and they either had 8 or 12 half-gallon jars in it. They were hefty to move when they were full. So yeah. And I know my sister doesn't can. Yeah, so long as you take care with the jars, they should last. Now, along that lines, I hate the way they're selling the new jars. They got a half-high cardboard box around it, and all the jars are in them vacuum sealed. Most of the boxes we have from back in the 70s and 60s are fully encased cardboard boxes with folding lids and stuff on it, and then cardboard dividers between all the jars. Those, with ones packed like that, they moved from Los Angeles to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, from the north of the rim of the Grand Canyon back to the San Francisco Bay Area. Never broke a jar. Those boxes were good. Those were made to store and keep the jars safe. Nowadays, it's like, oh. So what we've been doing is we've been getting the big heavy-duty fruit boxes from Costco and Sam's Club that come up the same, actually a little higher than those flimsy things they sell the jars in. And we've been cutting some of them up to make the dividers so there's really well protected so the jars don't bang against each other. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and in case anybody's wondering, Courtney is not going live tonight. She's still feeling sick with the bug that she picked up from Fred. And she's just about over it, but she's talking like she's got a New Jersey accent. Yeah, there's a lot of people that use beer bottles for salsas and sauces and stuff like that. I remember back in the day when you had the regular bottle opener and stuff, there were companies that sold lids for canning stuff back in them. At least they were selling them down in LA. Yeah. So so you plan on all right, to get a notepad out, and like I say on Gray Man Prepping, get your brain aid out, and every time, and keep those little notebooks with you. Anytime you can think of something that you can store in in a canning jar that you don't want to can in, so, or even if it's a jar from the store like pickles or one of those ones that have the lug lids on it. Find out, figure out whatever it is, write down so you can make a list of things you can store in it, and then you can start sharing those out. But there's a lot of things you can store jars in. Now, even with those type jars, you still want to, if you have something to put them in, make sure you set it up so they don't bang into each other. If you get a box or whatever from the store and they're a little loose in there, cut cardboard up to fit in between them. And so like you cut it this way here and this way here, then you notch it so the next one can go that way that's notched, and you just slide down over each other. And it'll protect the bottles, keep them safe, especially if you happen to get a little earthquake. Remember, the entire United States and most of Canada is still earthquake zones. And speaking of which, let me give you statistics for this year's or this month so far worldwide. Now I've been tracking since I worked at DHS in the beginning, all earthquakes 6.0 or greater worldwide. So far this year, this month, we've had 8 earthquakes 6.0 or greater. Of those, 5 were, I'll read them off here. So there was a 6.0, a 6.0, a 6.1, a 6.2 today, and a 6.8 today. There were also a 7.0, a 7.6, and a 7.0 this month. So yeah, things are rocking and rolling as far as the number of earthquakes. Usually at the most for the 7.0 or greater, averages around anywhere from 12 to 16 a year. And in 3 weeks, we have 3 already. Yes, this is part of the grand solar maximum that we are, or the grand solar sunspot maximum. Got to get it right. A lot of sunspots going on. And so, yeah, that's going on there on that. And actually, folks, now I don't want to share it because I may get in trouble if I share the actual video because it's probably copyrighted, even though it's on a public website. Today, there was a monstrous CME launched from the sun. Fortunately, it was 35 degrees off. So if, say, sun down here, earth up here, that's 0 degrees. You come off 35 degrees. That's the direction it went. And it was a big flare. So as we move along, we may catch a little bit of the edge of it, but it ain't gonna be nothing like anything Earth hasn't been hit with directly in the last 5 years. So it's nothing to be worried about what is coming at us. You just said it was a pucker moment when they saw that thing flare off today, and it was really nerve-wracking watches, like holy, because it wasn't just one spot. You could see on the surface of the sun it followed a line around. It was a big old one coming off, and it's like holy smokes, because it went from the upper or the northern hemisphere sunspot group going across and the southern group going across, and they arced between them. Went, this was this afternoon, Kaylin. Ben put out a video about it this afternoon, and then it's included on tomorrow morning's news broadcast. But it was this afternoon that it went, and it was like whoa, and it was more than an M class. It was a high X class. If it had been aimed at Earth, it would have been far worse than the Carrington event. I mean, he said it was billions of tons of plasma were released. Anyways, so another reason to can stuff, because hey, if the grid goes down for a while, all the canning facilities are going to be non-operational. 2. Dry canning, you don't have to heat the jar. You can do similar to a vacuum sealing one. One of the ones they also do talk about is oven canning, which isn't really canning. They put everything in the jar on a sheet in the oven, heat it up, bring it out, put the lids on. There is a lot of different little clarifications on it. And some of them, this thing, it's. I stay away from the dry canning. I go for the vacuum sealing and the oxygen absorbers and everything else in there. That's what I was going to think about. Dehydrated stuff, dehydrated foods, your apricots and stuff. You can put those in the jars and put the vacuum sealer on it and seal the jar with the oxygen absorber, moisture absorber in it. Oh yeah. If we got hit by that one that went off, if it was aimed directly at Earth, in about, I'm not sure if it would have hit us already, or it would be hitting us any time now. If you want, check out Kaylin. Can you throw out Suspicious Observers link, please? Suspicious Observers, Ben Davidson is going to be talking about it tomorrow, and generally it takes a day or so for when he shows the plasma streams to reach Earth. Unless that was a big enough, hard enough one, then it can make it here in 6 or 7 hours. So but yeah, it would be, if it hit the Earth, it would be 5 to 10 years after it hits the Earth before we get the grid back up the way it is now. Of course, then it may be so much death and destruction, that's in it. But that's a story for my other channel, Gray Man Prepping. Yeah, some of the telegraph stations caught fire. Others, they disconnected the battery, and because the lines were still charged, they were still able to send messages back and forth just from the static in the lines for hours and hours. And like Ben said on his thing today, and I totally agree with him, a certain some of these devices that are supposed to protect your truck or your car or your home from an EMP, kind of shield it, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, won't work. And my son's an engineer. He goes, there's no way it can work even for anything. The way they say to install it won't work. So he was saying, if you have a quarantine size thing, because it'll fry that and just keep on producing the. Calling it an electromagnetic pulse is a misnomer. It's a pulse on the cosmic scale. On the human scale, it's a hourly surge or multiple hour surge. It's just like the waves coming up off of tsunami. They come and they come and they come. Same thing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They are. Actually, I have another word for them, Tibor. I call them a scam company, because they plan to go out of business when an EMP actually hits the Earth. And they say, oh, we got government contracts. No, they don't. They said they had contracts with DHS. This was before I retired. It's like, no, they didn't. And they say, oh, we're listed. We're recommended in this paper put out by DHS. They were under the addendum, listed as, the title of the addendum was not recommended. Anyways, well, let's get off that. So get back to canning and stuff. So canning, is not affected by the power grid going out, unlike my chest freezers, which I have battery backup and stuff for. But still, can everything you can. Get extra canning when you can. Keep an eye out for when stuff's on sales. And one of the ones that ticked me off, I didn't find out about it until the next day. Our Walmart up here in Ammon and Idaho Falls was trying to clear all their canning stuff out, and Walmart discounted canning jars ridiculously low. And I didn't find about it, got up there, and just in time to see the last jar go off the shelf the next day. If I'd heard about it the day before, I would have been up there cleaning them up. Yeah. After an EMP strike, yeah. Oh, typo. So, all right, so we're hitting the time here. So let me go back over here real quick and grab what they have coming up here. Bring it up. All right, so several things coming up here, folks. We'll cover a lot of stuff here really quick here. Coming up on Monday here on Camppatton Family Compound, the topic for the Monday Night Fireside Chat is backup transportation for emergencies. All right. On Tuesday, we're going to be talking about disaster cooking on Gray Man Prepping. And so basically it's disaster cooking. No stove. How are you going to cook? Midnight Ride will be next Thursday as usual. Open topic, bouncing around. Next Friday here, 5 skills you need for bartering. Okay? 5 skills you need for bartering. That's what we're going to be talking about here. Hang on, I've got a question here. The food safe buckets of gamma-lids, are they sold in a store? Yes, there are stores around different ones, different places. I know, like here in Idaho, there's a chain called Brolam's. Twice a year, in October and then in the spring, they have 2 weeks of case lot sales, and they sell the gamma-lids themselves dirt cheap. I mean, it's like $2 off anywhere. The cheapest place I've seen them anywhere else. Now, the food safe grade buckets, some stores sell them at a decent price. I've noticed that the ones I used to get from Amazon, the black buckets, I used to get them in packages of 10. They aren't selling them in the packages of 10 anymore. I'm not sure what all's going on that. I've seen the 5s and stuff, but their price is jacked up a bunch. So I'm just waiting for them to bring the bulk back when people after everybody buys all the buckets they're going to be buying. Now, if you're, depending on what you're putting in the bucket, you can actually get Mylar bags to line the bucket to put, grains and macaroni and other stuff in it, mashed potatoes in it, and you just fold it over. And some of the bags you can even have Ziplocs on them. The Mylar bags have Ziplocs for a 5-gallon bucket. That way you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's and get their orange and blue buckets and use those. Yeah. All right. Oh, that's the other one. Yeah. Bakeries will sometimes give away their 5-gallon buckets that had the frosting in it. Comes with the frosting stuff in it. They don't want to deal with it, and they just give them away. Yeah. Actually, okay. Interesting thing is, I have sugar that I've had for years and years in the 25-pound bags. We just put the whole bag into a garbage bag, rolled it up and duct taped it up and put it on the shelf. It's perfectly good because sugar is a preservative, so it's preserved. Flour is one of those things and once flour is made, it has a short shelf life unless you freeze it. Okay, back to what's coming up here. So next Friday here is 5 skills you need to have for bartering. On the 31st, on Tuesday the 31st, on Gray Man Prepping is the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. There's still some time to get in on the contest. Most of the last videos for the last month or so. In the description has the link to the 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest rules. Also over there, I'm going to be putting out a video hopefully tomorrow. I tried to get out today, but I was doing a lot of editing on other videos. I'm going to be putting out the rules for the members giveaway on the 31st for Gray Man Prepping. I'm giving away several gift cards to channel members and only channel members over on Gray Man Prepping. All right, so that's stuff that's coming up. Also, if you have any topics you want me to discuss about, that you want me to talk about and discuss here, either on for cooking, canning, and stuff here on Camppatton Family Compound, or prepping ideas that you want me to discuss about over on Gray Man Prepping, please email me. Both channels have the email address down in the bottom on the description, on the about pages. They're on the about page of both pages. So, and just send me ideas and stuff, because I'll take any ideas that you want to know about. I'll bring it up. I'll put my years of as emergency preparedness coordinator for Homeland Security to use and talk about whatever it is you want me to talk about. All right. And did I see Laura? Did Laura just come in? I see someone saying hi to Laura, but I don't see, unless that's a different Laura. Hey, Howie, how's it going? All righty, folks. I want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank everybody for their comments in the side chat. And we'll see you Monday on the Monday Night Fireside Chat here on Camppatton Family Compound. All righty. Take care, everyone. And keep buying canning jars.